Police chase for carjacking suspect in Orange County, California. Orange County, California. Monday afternoon, October 12, 2020. A pursuit began after the driver of a stolen vehicle that Placentia Police were monitoring. By 3:30 p.m., the driver was fleeing authorities on surface streets in Santa Ana before making his way to Garden Grove.
So all we know right now is there's two people in the vehicle. It's a stolen van, as you see, and right now he was at pretty high rates of speed on the freeway, but as we're watching, all he's doing is keeping slow rates of speed and trying not to get trapped in behind vehicles, and that's a normal thing we see people in pursuits do, is they just don't want to get stuck in traffic, but pulling through on their right lane through on the green and continuing north here through north here on Harbor Boulevard. We're coming up to, I believe it's going to be Edinger that we're coming up here as we work our way along. I'm going to have to send it back down to you for a second so I get clearance to get up over the top of the Disneyland TFR. So let me send it back down to you. Firing back. You can see he's still continuing northbound. Just went through 5th Street in Santa Ana. We're slowly approaching the 22 freeway and heading up towards the Disneyland area on Harbor. And once he gets in this area, we need to climb way up to get over the clearance for Disneyland. So right now, CHP is still on this. Like I said, he has really not been doing a lot of crazy driving, just kind of cruising along after he got off the freeway there on Bristol and finally picked up here on North Harbor. He's been staying pretty slow and just kind of following traffic and not trying to get pinned in. I'm waiting for the desk to come up with any more information that got out of Placentia PD to figure out if this was a carjacking or if it was just a straight stolen that they came across. But once they got on the freeway, Placentia PD went ahead and backed off the pursuit as normal. Once CHP takes over pursuit, they will not continue the pursuit if the local agency stays in the pursuit. So they will then have the allied agency back out. They'll take over total control. And now they do have a helicopter overhead. Anyway, where they keep following with the air unit overhead, and it's a CHP pursuit at this time. Now, should this go to a perimeter of that sort, Anaheim PD is keeping track of this. Their air unit was over it before the the CHP unit arrived. So they're kind of keeping a track of this so the area agencies know where this is in their city and will be able to kind of parallel on side streets, just in the hopes that when this person comes to a stop and gets out on foot, that they could be there to set up that perimeter. But now continuing north on Harbor Boulevard, going through Cardinal, we're in the little stretch of Garden Grove here, which is just south of Disneyland. And as we work our way north, he's going to start getting into some heavier traffic here on Harbor as we approach the south border. But you can see right here, he's kind of trapped in there. CHP units are behind, holding back, so they're not going to advance on him right there because you have too many people ahead of him in the way. So they don't want to do anything right here because of all that traffic around him. They don't want them to become part of the problem. So right now they're just going to hold back and keep an eye on it.
Police chase for carjacking suspect in Orange County, California. Orange County, California. Monday afternoon, October 12, 2020. A pursuit began after the driver of a stolen vehicle that Placentia Police were monitoring. By 3:30 p.m., the driver was fleeing authorities on surface streets in Santa Ana before making his way to Garden Grove.
And as usual here on North Harbor, these lights take quite a bit of time to cycle because they're all lined up to where you come up Harbor. You can be a clear run if you stay at the speed limit, but that causes sometimes when you get stopped for it to take a long time. So we're just gonna have to wait out this line as he's sitting here at Cardinal, northbound Harbor. But right now you see all the CHP behind, and I guarantee you that Anaheim PD, Garden Grove PD, and also Placentia PD are in the area waiting for this thing to go to ground. But right now we're just waiting to see what happens, and hopefully we can get more information. Now the traffic's starting to move as we move ahead here, coming north on Harbor, and the traffic in front is cleared, and in the units are following in behind. So that's the 22 freeway he's going under right there, continuing north on Harbor. So see if he jumps on the freeway. It looks like he's, nope, maybe, nope, and he's passed. So right now it looks like we're continuing north here. This will take us all up into the Anaheim area. I'll start to go for that right or left-hand turn pocket. And what it was, that was a spike strip there that he drove around. So we heard about it, but we usually don't talk about spike strips on air because we don't know if he's listening or people he's talking to are listening, and we don't want to give away any tactics of the officers on the ground here. So if he knows ahead of time it's coming, he'll just do exactly that, just drive around it or make a turn. So they're attempting to stop this pursuit by spike strips, and I guarantee you that won't be the last time they try it. But as we continue here on Harbor, coming up to Garden Grove Boulevard, looks like we might be going east on Harbor Boulevard, or Garden Grove Boulevard, and then there we go, eastbound. And you can see the units are just staying pretty well behind, up into a parking lot here, right at Garden Grove and Harbor. To have to see. Yeah, we heard that too, but they were still talking about a second passenger. So if you were able to look in there in the passenger seat, not see anybody, you have better monitors than we do. So, but then you never know who's in the back of that. So it takes out a little bit of the problem, when you have less people coming out of there. But on these things like this, it's the driver they go after. They very rarely chase a passenger because there's not really anything criminal code that covers the passenger because they're just along for the ride, unless there's some type of other crime that has occurred here, and then you'll have to get that information and figure out which one you're going to chase. But right now, back out on Harbor, coming back up to Garden Grove Boulevard, kind of made a loop through that parking lot. And, the information is developed through the whole pursuit. Now going through Harbor Boulevard, continuing north here, or through Garden Grove, continuing north on Harbor Boulevard here as we work our way around and continuing here. But during this whole pursuit, they're trying to get information on what's in that van. If it's a straight stolen van, they want to know what the owner had in there. Did the owner, have a lot of tools of that sort, and possibly any weapons, because they don't want to get on this thing blind. They want to have as much information as they can on this vehicle to see what is going on in there. So if it's just a work truck with work tools, they can kind of sit back on that. So, but if they can get information that there's a weapon, then that helps them out quite a bit. On a stolen vehicle, you don't have the luxury of getting a registered owner location where this thing might go to be able to get a hold of who the registered owner is, get a hold of the family. But right now they're just continuing on here. Just came off of Spruce, working their way here through a neighborhood. This is going to keep into this neighborhood here as he bends around in the Garden Grove area. You see CHP is right behind him. And now that he's in the neighborhood, luckily he's going slow. We don't have the problem with him blasting through intersections and having kids and families out on the street here in this neighborhood and racing through here. But looks like he's keeping it pretty tamed as he works along. Comes up on this right-hand turn on Lux as we work our way through here back eastbound. So just a matter of following. And what's a good thing though, once he gets in neighborhoods like this, it makes the spike strips work much better. because he has less room to maneuver around them. So we'll have to see. Continuing on here through Chaparral. And like you see on Skyview 5, the speeds are down in the 20s, so luckily he's not screaming along here. So he's just looking for some place to get out at this point, just trying to figure out his next move. But the problem with this is you got helicopters over you and 6 police cars following you. Your next move is going to be going to jail. So it's best just stop, give up, driver door open, vehicle you forgot to put in the park, vehicle rolling away, and somebody's gonna get a little insurance
At
claim.
approximately 3:40 p.m., the driver exited the truck without putting it in park in the Garden Grove neighborhood and surrendered to authorities. The truck continued on the road, collided with another car, before coming to a stop. The driver was taken into custody without further incident.
That unit, I bet you, well, there he goes over a tree into a fence. So that luckily came to a stop safely. And now back down the suspect who just got out of the car, forgot to put it in park. And standing out in the middle of the street here, CHP starting their procedure to take this guy into custody. So this pursuit ended pretty much the way we like it. No real problems, nobody hurt, and it came to a peaceful end with the car. Now it's just a matter of this guy following the officer's commands and walking backwards towards them, and so they could take him into custody very carefully. Now down to his knees. And now since there's not a car to deal with, they're going to probably approach him at this point once they have him down and contained. There's also a K9 unit down here in case he decides to take off running. And that'll be launched if he does that. Now you see the rest team working their way up. And it looks like he's doing exactly what he's told. And that's how these things should end. And it makes it peaceful and very easy. And you see officers being very careful. A rest team will go up and take charge of him while the other officers handle the perimeter. And that K9 there off to the left, just in case. But looks like this is going to come to an end here on Volkwood and Heather here in Garden Grove.